Hi, welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy, and I'm so glad that you're here today for my Thursday double feature. Um, those that have watched me know that I'm a huge movie buff, so when I was thinking about what to name my newest little mini card class, I just had to go with the double feature. So today we're going to make a couple of cards with the Nuts About Squirrels stamp set. It's a super cute one in the no, it's July to December mini catalog. And if you place an order with me from now until Monday night at 11:59, I will send you the card kits to make these two cards. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me turn you guys down. Doo -doo. Okay. So I don't know if you have noticed on my blog earlier this week I had this really cute card, and I actually cased this from the catalog. I love this Nuts About Squirrels stamp set. It's so cute. These squirrels are super cute. But the cards that we're making today are these two right here. Aren't those cute? Oh my gosh, I love these squirrels. And like I said, it's in the mini catalog. You can find it on page 49, and you can see there at the top that's the card that I made earlier. I made a version of that card earlier, and they had the different you can step them up, which is kind of cool to see all that. And then there's the stamp set. So totes adorbs. I love, love, love. And then I did use a couple of framelits on today's cards, and I used the layering circle. So if you don't, it's one of the it's on page 163, the annual catalog, and it is one of the staples. Like, these are awesome to have always with your cut and emboss machine. I love this layering circles. So we're actually going to use one of the scallop circles and one of the regular circles. And then we're also going to use one of the new sets from, you can see them on page 158. It's the Scallop Contours. And these are really a fun set of dies. And they're rectangle, and they're stitched and scalloped, so they're super cute. So we're going to use that set as well. And on this first card that we're going to make right here, the designer series paper that I'm using is it's actually this Pattern Party DSP that's on the back, and it is this huge pack of paper. It's 48 sheets of 12 by 12. You get 4 each of 12 double-sided, and it is a $30 value, but it's $18 when you get your Stampin' Rewards. So that means if you have a party or an order over $150, then Stampin' Up! Gives you money to spend, and you can on these special host stamp sets as well as this gorgeous paper. I love this paper, so we're actually going to use a piece of that paper today. And then on the second card, we're going to use the Beauty of the Earth paper. So if you guys, I know I've used it quite a bit. It's such a gorgeous autumn paper. It's on page 130. You can see that Beauty of the Earth. And I'm using the side with the wood grain. And it's that fun wood grain. So that's super awesome. Okay. So then if you go up onto my website, on my blog, I already have these two cards blogged, as well as the directions. And after the supply list, it has after it explains the card and all the pictures, there is the measurements and supply list, and then you can see that there's two different links that you can download with the pictures. When I say with the pictures, you can get it with it has like the pictures that are on the blog, as well as the pictures of the products, or you can do it without, which will just have the one card, the top card picture, but it doesn't show all the pictures of the products or on the directions, but it does have the directions. So you can download and print, save those directions, and they are clickable, so you can find all that stuff in my online store, which is very exciting. Okay, so let's start stamping. Okay, so this is the card that we're making today. Love, love, love. Let me check my, see how this is going. Oh, it's like way down here. Oh, my daughter checked in. Hi, Natalie. Comments are like way down below. Anyway, okay, so if you place an order and I send you a card kit, the card kits will be in an envelope, and you'll have all of the things to make the card, except you'll need your stamps and your own adhesive, and stuff to color. So we start with a piece of cinnamon cider cardstock, and it is for this one, which I usually almost do the 11 by 4 1/4, but this is an actual, like the book style, but we're gonna actually do it this way, landscape. So it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So yeah, so 8.5 by 5.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. Then I have an inside piece of basic white inside piece that is the 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then we have the I've already cut out the DSP. So like I said, this is the DSP from that party, pattern party host, which I love. Isn't that pretty? So that's that side. But this is a really fun autumn, and these are great. You could color them if you want to. If you want to have the different leaves in different colors. I'm going to leave them, I'm going to go ahead and leave them white, but those are a nice bold, you can totally color them. And then I also cut 2 strips, because I love to put things on the back and on the inside so they're not naked. And this is 1.5, it's a half by 5 1/8. No, not 5 1/8, 5 1/4. Yeah. And then I've also used, like I said, the scalloped contour dies. And I want to tell you a trick about these. I love the stitch, but sometimes I get them stuck in, especially with the vellum. I was getting my dies stuck, and it was hard for me to get it out. I found that if I used a piece of wax paper, so I ran it the first time I ran it through with the wax paper with the cardstock. But then instead of if I was gonna I cut out a bunch, I kept this piece of wax paper, and it just fits right back in the wax paper. And I would then put this on top of my Whisper White or basic white cardstock and run it through, or the vellum, and that helped it make it easy to get it out. So I didn't like use a new piece of wax paper every time. But I mean, if this one gets torn, if it gets moves around, then you probably need to get a different one. But I did that with both pieces. I find that really helped when I was cutting out both pieces. That really helped keep it nice. Oh, the door opened. Let me close it really quick. You can hear the traffic. My husband came home. If you don't get that door latched really well, the wind just blows it right open. And we have had so much wind. Earlier this week, it was so bad. We had 70-mile-an-hour gusts, and it ripped off some. We have like the solar water panels for our pool to heat our pool, and ripped one of them up, and it banged against the roof and like shattered a couple of tiles. It was crazy. It was like 11:30 at night, and my husband and my sons were up on the roof trying to like put that stuff down. It was really crazy. And then the temperature dropped like 50 degrees because it was warm, and then it was freezing. We actually had our first freeze warning, so the weather's crazy. But that's October, and like I said, I was really glad. I don't know if you saw I posted. I was really glad. Oh my gosh, that door is not wanting to close at all today. I feel like I need to lock it. It just does not want to close. I don't know what's going on with it. But the what was I saying? The freeze warning. Yeah, it was super cold. Like we weren't. It was really warm, and then super cold. Like we have to. But that's October. I almost put my Halloween decorations up, but the time got away from me. We didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't, because we have all the blowy uppy things. It would have totally just gotten blown away. Anyway, okay, so it'll be in your envelope, all your little pieces, and it's just a little bit of assembly. So first, I would say use your glue and add your designer series paper panel, DSP, to your card front, to your cinnamon cider card front. Just pop that back up, pop it on there, just like that. I do like glue. You can use your favorite adhesive. That's your Stampin' Seal. I like the glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, so I can get it straight. Okay, so then we need to stamp our sentiment, and then I'm actually going to stamp my squirrel. So there is enough room on here if you wanted to actually stamp your squirrel if you don't like to fussy cut. I love to fussy cut, so that's not a problem for me. But if you do, you would just stamp your squirrel onto your label up here instead of fussy cutting him out and having him be a little bit lower onto the vellum, as well as the basic white cardstock scalloped stitched rectangle. So so let's first, on our piece of basic white, we need to stamp our sentiment. And there's some really cute sentiments in here. The hope you're feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tail, hey there, nuts about you, and this lovely happy birthday. And I actually used the happy birthday on this one. So go ahead and pull that out. Put that on my block. And I'm just going to stamp it with Memento ink up here in the top corner. Oops, almost dropped it onto the thing. Okay, here we go. I was trying to see it. Oh, Facebook was yelling at me. Here we go. Oh, that did pretty good. If I wanted to, actually, I guess I can make this zoom in a little. Let's see if I can get it to zoom in. Oops, I'm clicking the wrong thing. This is what I want to zoom. There we go. See if I can zoom that in. There you go, so you can see that. So I stamped the happy birthday. When I stamp the squirrel, I'm going to use my my Stampin' Pierce mat, so that I can get a really good image. Because for this one, I'm going to actually stamp the squirrel. I'm going to use my colors on the other one. Okay, so we can go ahead and put these on my card front. So when you're putting this together, because I'm not going to stamp the squirrel, I'm going to actually cut him out. I'm going to put him right here. So I'm just going to glue. I'm just going to add some glue to in the middle here, and glue it to my piece of vellum. So it's here in the middle, just like that. Now that I made it all zoomy, I gotta make sure that I'm on camera. And then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. Some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then when you put your Stampin' on Dimensionals, make sure you put it so that it isn't like, you can see them if you put them on the vellum. So I'm just gonna put them inside so that the basic white stitch rectangle hides it. Isn't this cute? Oh, so nice. I love this Scallop Contour dies. And then we're just going to put that in here in the middle. Put that in the center. Just like that. And then we're going to stamp our squirrel. Okay, this is my inside. So don't get that one mixed up with my piece of extra. And then there's a couple of squirrels on here. For this one, I have him where he's like running. It's so cute. These squirrels are so cute. So I need to take both of them. So here's this one. Now, if these are two-step stamps, so if that is hard for you, well, you can either stamp your inside first and then stamp the outline over, or vice versa, or you can always use your Stamparatus. I'm actually going to try to not use my Stamparatus, depending on if I'm feeling whether or not I get my Stamparatus out. Okay, so let me move these out of the way. So I can get this up here where you guys can see it. So I'm just going to ink up my squirrel outline in Memento Black. Just like that. It's going to be hard, so I'm going to have to totally lean down. You're going to totally see my hair when I do the second part here. And so the inside I'm going to do with the cinnamon cider. I love cinnamon cider. It's one of our ink colors. This gorgeous ink color here. Let me get that nice. Oops, look at that. These little dimensional papers are like the bane of my existence. I get them everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. Okay. Okay, so then I'm in a second generation, so I'm stamping off. So I'm going to stamp my squirrel off. And then I'm going to stamp it into, on here. Let's see if I can do it with you guys without having to. I'm going to line his little feet up and his little ears up. I'm going to have to stand up, so hopefully you can hear my chair not go all, so that I can look. So you're going to see my head. To get this on there right. You really need to see over the top. Just like that. Oh, awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Got it. Okay, good. Muy bien. So especially if you're gonna stamp your little squirrel onto your your white rectangle, I would definitely suggest using your Stamparatus so you can get it lined up correctly, because you don't want to waste it once you've already gotten your die cut done. Okay, and then so I am going to just fussy cut him out. I love fussy cutting almost as much as I love to color. I know some people really hate fussy cutting. It's the only sad part about these, and there's a couple of other really cool, super cute stamp sets that are in the new mini catalog that don't have Clever Cats. It's one that comes to mind that doesn't have the dies that match. But oh my gosh, I love that set too. It's so cute. And squirrels are really cute for fall. I know some people really like squirrels and some people do not like squirrels. I think it depends what their experience with squirrels are. I had a friend that actually tagged us in a chap's video that made like this squirrel. His backyard had like a squirrel obstacle course, and that was quite fun to watch. Watch the squirrels go through it to get to the, I guess it's bird seed. I don't know if there's actual squirrel food or the squirrels just eat bird seed. I do know they like the bird seed. So yeah, so if you don't like to fussy cut, like I said, you can just stamp it onto your rectangle. I just like to fussy cut. I know these fabulous paper snips have been on back order for a while, but I think they're going to be out soon. And if you are a fan of that Turtle Punch, that we just got that Turtle Punch back in, that Turtle Punch, bless you, my friend in the other room sneezed. That Turtle Punch is on low inventory, so it's back in the online store, but it is on low inventory. And there was something else that's just like, oh, the tombstones. So the tombstones for Halloween, they are finally back in stock and in the online store, but they're also on low inventory. So if those are something you've been waiting on, I would definitely get on and make sure you get them, because there's still plenty of time to get them before Halloween, but if they go back on back order again, probably not. So definitely, if you're waiting on those tombstones treat boxes that are so super cute. I have one more card I want to make. It's like you open it up and it's a card. Oh, that's going to be on. That's my last thing of the 13 days of Halloween. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let's get all my debris out of the way, and then we just have to put that on. Just like this. Oh, he's so cute. I just can't So cute, so cute. Just add some glue. And of course, if you must have sparkly, you can always use your Wink of Stella to add sparkly to him. There we go. How cute is he? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we do need the bow. And so that's with our linen thread. And I actually made a double bow with it. I'm not very good at double bows, but make a double bow. Put that on there. It's always because I want to pull it the wrong way through, I think. There we go. And I do like it small. I always want to think I want a big bow, and then I just pull it down and pull it down and pull it down because I always really want it small. I might think I want it big, but I never do. I always want it small. Let me snip that off. Oh, it's so cute. And then I need a glue dot. I'm just going to use a glue dot to attach this underneath the happy birthday. And then we just have to finish we're almost done with it. It's so cute. Just put that there, right underneath. Oh, happy birthday, how cute is that? Okay, so then we just need to do our inside and our back of our card. So on the back, I'm going to take one of these strips and add it. And you of course could try to stamp just like the outline of your squirrel if you wanted to, or the other squirrel on the back if you want. I'm just going to stamp the happy birthday again on the top instead of the squirrel. Just like that. Let me set this. Oh, I keep forgetting I'm like really zoomed in. Sorry about that. Okay, so on this one, make sure you have it orientated the correct way. I'm going to go ahead and put the happy birthday. And then I'm going to close that up so I don't get ink everywhere. And then I'm going to put this one on. These strips, I love to add the strips of the DSP or of a coordinating cardstock. I really do like the way that looks. In the next card, we're going to actually add some Mossy Meadow to the bottom, kind of bring that green through. Okay, and then just add this to the inside of my card, and you're done. Such a cute, very fall-y card. Look at that. Awesome sauce. So nice. I really like it. Let's back up just a little bit. Oh, what do you guys think? So that's our first card. It's got the two that scalloped and on that really pretty DSP. I love using the designer series paper because it does so much of the work and makes it such an easy, nice, a nice way to use it. Now, if you want to, you can of course add, I'm going to go ahead and add the squirrel to the front of my card so it matches. And the happy birthday. So on my envelope, my front of my envelope, I say the front of the card, my front of my envelope, just like that. And now I have a matching envelope. Now you can of course color these too, but I mean it looks great just without even having to color it. Love, love, love. Okay, so that's the first card. Now let's do the second card. Okay, so I clean up my little space just a little bit so it makes it easy. And this one is going to be, instead of the happy birthday, we're going to do the hay there. So, the happy birthday away. Oops, I'm pulled up. This is the bushy tail. They both have such cute bushy tails. This is the one laying along the line. I do like the new cases where we have the images are underneath. I do find that it does help me not lose or they figure out that I've not put one of my stamps back with this, more so than the other, which is good because I'm telling you, I lost one of my favorites, my banner year, which I love, the Happy Haunting, and I had to get that one again. It was sad. Okay. All right, and we're going to, so I'm going to use the images from this one. So we used these two, and now we're going to use these two for the next card. And this one we're going to actually use Stampin' Blends to color our squirrel. And I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Blends to color my, the pearls too. I love the pearls. I love, Stampin' Blends are so awesome. You can use them to color your pearls or your rhinestones. It makes you have way more. Okay, so for this one, like I said, I used the layering circles. And I have the measurements, of course, are on my blog. And I used circle and then the scallop in the mossy meadow and very vanilla to cut out my circles. And then I have a piece of that Fabulous in the Beauty of the Earth DSP, Designer Series paper. And of course this is really pretty too. You could always flip it over if you wanted to do it this way instead of this way. If you wanted it to be more green instead of the wood. But I'm going to go ahead and I like the wood. So, so this is pretty easy. So again, instead of the cinnamon cider, this is a piece of Cajun Craze. So, and again, it's 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I've cut. This one is at the 11 by 4.5, and it's scored, or not 4.5, 4.25, and scored at 5.5. So that is our Cajun Craze. And then I believe that this one is 3 inches by 5.25, maybe. Is that what it is? 5 1/8. 5 1/8 by 3. I think is what it is. Maybe it's 5 1/4. I think it's 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4. 5 1/4 by 3. And we're gonna glue that onto our card base slightly over, so it's more onto the left than like in the center. Instead of right straight in the center, it's going to be a little bit over to the left side, as you can see right there. So let's go ahead and glue that piece on. I do love this paper. It's so pretty, so versatile. And there's several pieces in this paper pack that you can stamp on that make gorgeous cards too. I just love this DSP pack. I think I've gone through like 2 or 3 packs already. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Just like that. And then we need to stamp our Very Vanilla. So I use Very Vanilla instead of the basic white. So on this one, we're just going to stamp it straight on. And then we're going to use our, I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends and the Color Lifter to create my squirrel, to give him some fun. Oh, and I got him out. Now if you don't want to color him with your blends, you can, of course, again, stamp him on the inside. I would stamp off first, but you totally could. They even have in here the you can use your stamp to do the acorn as well, which I have done too in the past. You can do that with the acorn. And I got the other one out, and I don't even need it. Okay, so there he is. Isn't he cute? Okay, now let's see if I can get it to go up a little bit more so you guys can see me color just a little. Hopefully that's not too blurry. Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to start with the light, with my light Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to use the brush tip and get a lot of ink on here. It is dark. It will lighten up a little bit. and I'm going to go back over with the dark, and then I'm going to go over it with the color lifter and kind of give it some light spots, because the Cajun Craze is pretty dark, but it's so pretty. It looks so good on the squirrel. Cinnamon cider looks good on the squirrel too. Actually, all the browns really look good. And this, the autumn colors. It's such a cute stamp set. And it is really easy to use. Like I said, I don't mind fussy cutting, but it looks really good just on a, I'll leave a little bit of his ears, with the very vanilla instead of coloring it all in. And I'm going to use the soft suede for the acorn. I'm going to first get the squirrel nice and colored with my the light Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to switch over to the bullet tip so that I can get in there into the edges here. Like that. Oh, he's a cute little squirrel. Alright, there we go. That always reminds me of Doug. Does the squirrel. Okay, and then I'm going to use my dark Cajun Craze and I'll go back over it. And I do have the bullet tip. I'm just going to add a little bit of color. I mean, it just depends on how dark you want it to go. If you look at your, the inner piece that stamps, you can see that it's like ragged. So, and it doesn't cover the entire thing. So when you're adding on your second coat of your dark, don't make it too smooth. You can do a little bit to add it in. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go back over it with the light Cajun Craze and kind of blend it more. And then I'm gonna hit it with my color lifter so that it's oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's such a cute little guy. So cute. And of course you can you don't have to be like an expert at coloring. You don't have to really be an expert at coloring to do this. You do as little as much as you want. And again, I to do it in the Memento Black, I think is one of the reasons why I love using my blends, because I really don't like using the StazOn, not just because I'm lazy, and it smells bad, but it's so tricky to clean. I'm always concerned that I'm not going to get it clean good enough. So I love using the Memento, and you use the Memento when you're you can see how I've already left some spaces not as dark as others. So then you're going to take your color lifter, and then you're just going to hit a little bit where you think you'd like to have it a little bit lighter. On his tummy, maybe on a little bit on the tail. Not a lot, just a little bit. And it'll lighten up the color a little bit. And then of course if you go out of the edges, so like this one right here, I did go a little bit outside the edges, so I can clean that up and get that clean, and then wait till it dries a little bit, and then you can hit it again once it's a little bit dry, and just add a little bit more ink there on the other side, and you can't even tell. Now if you like your furry friends to look furry, or like the feathery, if I had stamped this in early espresso and then used the color lifter on the edges, it kind of bleeds, it'll bleed and kind of make it fuzzy. So if that's kind of an effect that you're interested in doing, that's when you wouldn't use Memento Black. You would use your early, I would use like early espresso, and then it would kind of make it fuzzy. So that's kind of a fun technique too, but I didn't do that with this one. Okay, and then I'm going to use the dark suede, soft suede, the dark soft suede on the top of my acorn. And I'm going to use the soft suede, the light one, on the bottom of my acorn. He's so cute. Okay. And I am just using the bullet tip so I have a little bit more control over the where the color goes, so I'm not going like crazy out of the lines. Onto my squirrel. Just like, so cute. Oh my gosh, and that's it. How cute is that? He is so super cute. Okay, so then let me go ahead and let's pull back a little bit. Okay, and so then we're going to glue it onto, just going to glue it over here onto here. Glue my squirrel onto the Mossy Meadow scallop circle that I die cut. So just so that that little outside edge, so cute, OMG, just like that. And then we're going to use dimensionals to pop him up. Here's my dimensionals. And I'm not going to put it on like center again too. I'm going to have him go off the page a little bit and move these out of the way. So he's like down and off this to the side, just like that. Ah, again. And then, let's see, actually, oh, hit that just a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to put, although I think I'm going to cover it with my, probably cover it with my piece of, so this is Bumblebee. And I have measurements down. So if you get the kits, I'll have it cut, and then you just can use your paper snips, or if you have the tailor tag punch, you can just snip it off. But you just need it. It's at a quarter. And we used the hay there. I don't think I pulled that one out. So let's get that out. Up there. So cute. Again, I'm just going to use the Memento Black. And very nice, very nice. I'm just going to snip it so it's a little bit long, there. Or you could just go ahead and snip it. And I'm going to use my tailor tag, and I'm going to use this edge to kind of give it a banner, a flag, not a banner, a flagged end. There we go, just like that. And then I'm going to glue it on, and I'm not going to glue it all the way to the edge because I'm going to have it hang off a little bit. So I'm just going to add the glue to this part, to the top of it, not by where I flagged it. And then I'm just going to add him to the squirrel. So it's going to go right over the squirrel, hang over the edge, just like that. See that? I need to look up to make sure that it's on camera. Okay. And then for this one, I did not do a double bow. I just did a single bow, and I think I put the where did I do? Oh, here it is. It's hidden under here. I dropped mine. I just did a single bow for this one, the linen thread. And then of course we have that essentials pack where it also has the linen thread, the Baker Swine essential pack, and it does have a linen as well as like a black and a white, and I think gray granite. It's a great pack too, but I just used some of this so much of the linen. I love the linen. Okay. Again, like I think I want it to be big, but I don't. I always make a small bow. And again, if you want to make this one double, I guess you can too. Cut that off. So cute. I might need to trim that again. And this one's a little bit too long. There we go. And then I'm going to use a glue dot again to attach it underneath the sentiment banner. The glue dot. And then what I am going to do with the pearls is I'm going to color them with the Mossy Meadow to bring that Mossy Meadow color more into the card. Because all you see it right now is just on that little edge right here. So to do that, I just got my pearls. This is actually an old pack. And I'm going to use my dark Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to use the brush end. And remember, you can totally do this. Don't go down with when you're coloring your pearls or your rhinestones, because you'll break your tip. You need to make sure you go around it and smooth edges. And I need 2 big ones, 1 little one. Actually, I had a little one already. Okay, and then give them a second to dry. So I've got those going, and so while those are drying off, because otherwise when you put them on here, if you move it, sometimes you'll get the little ring around the bottom. So always wait for it to dry a little bit when you're using it. It's not at all like when you use your like the Stamp and Write markers. If you even get it to here, it comes right off, which is one of the reasons why I love the Stampin' Blends. So on the back, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Hey There on the back, and then I went ahead and cut some Mossy Meadow strips again so I can pull in that Mossy Meadow, and it's the 1/2 inch by 4. And if you wanted to step this one up, you could always emboss. I wouldn't emboss these. I would maybe emboss the front or add even another layer, although when you add a bunch of layers it does make it heavier if you're going to ship it. And then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla to go on the inside. And then on for the inside, I thought I would go ahead and use the other sentiment, the Hope You're Feeling Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tailed. They're so cute because they do have a very cute tail. Instead of the Hey There, because I did that on the outside. So go ahead and mount that. I think because this is more than just the little, I'm going to go ahead and put it up on my Stampin' Pierce mat. And let's see, do I have that nice? Yeah, that looks good. Put that in there. On my just be careful, like I just did it. I got a little bit of black. Now if you get a little bit of black, you can always turn it over because we're not coloring on it. So I did get a smear. I need to clean my memento. So I usually will take a lightly damp paper towel and go around the inside of my memento black because I am always touching it. As you can see, I got it all over my fingers. And you don't want to transfer that to your card. If you do, and you can of course turn it over again, which is always awesome because there's 2 sides to all the cardstock. But you could also use, we have the sand erasers. I don't know if you guys have seen those. You can get them at like on Amazon or at Michael's. It's a mono sand eraser, and that will work. If you can lightly take off some of the color. Like I got a little bit right here. Get that. Lightly take it off. Which is awesome. Because you hate it when you have it all fabulous and then you accidentally, I put my glue away and I needed glue. When you accidentally get like a little smudge or your fingerprint on your card front, that's actually when you really want to just put an embellishment. When I do my fingerprint, I'm like, oop, time for an embellishment. Because usually that's in a big area. But, and then after I added the mossy green, I'm just going to put it right in here. And like I said, you could still, I mentioned before, you can put, stamp your squirrel, on here. If you're going to color your squirrel on here, make sure you hadn't messed up on the one side and flipped it over, because when you're using Stampin' Blends, you do not want to color over a place that you've stamped if you stamp on the back, because it will bleed through. That image will bleed through and it'll be a mess. You don't want to do that. There we go. How cute is that? Now our little thing should be dry. And I'm just going to add one over here. Is that how I had it? Yep. And then just add them to my card front. Just like that. Muy bien. So easy peasy. So these are super cute and easy cards, but so fabulous. I love this adorable squirrel set that nuts about squirrels. That awesome sauce. Let me make this go. I can zoom this out just a little bit more. Awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's double feature with the Nuts About Squirrels. And like I have mentioned, if you order between now and Monday night, I will send you a kit to make your own. We don't send any stamped images, so you'll definitely need the stamp set or one of your other favorite critters that you want to make this super cute. These are really good. Easily you can use different other animals, but you definitely want this squirrel set. He's so cute. These squirrels are so cute. But I'll send those in the mail to you. And just remember, it needs to be, use the host code, and by Monday night, because I'm going to cut them all up and on Tuesday and get them out to you guys hopefully on Wednesday. So also we are in the middle of our new Gifts Galore Paper Pumpkin subscription period. Oh my gosh, these are so adorable. There are 3 different gift packages. We can see the one, which is the snowman. I don't know what the other 2 will be, but you have until November 10th to get that in my subscribe to that, and the link is in the subscription, or in the description of this video, and also on my website, so you can get that. I mean, $22. It's such a great kit. They're all inclusive. I love the paper pumpkin kits. For the money, they're the most awesome. Okay, so just about that and that. I guess that's all. So just make sure you guys use my host code if you need anything in my online store. And thank you guys so much for coming to my very first double feature. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Happy crafting. Bye.